So I'm going to go ahead and pass things on to our wonderful user spotlight, Cora. She is the executive assistant for the Code Administrations Association of Kentucky, and she's going to talk to us about her event and what she uses Conference Tracker for.
Well, we are the Code Administrators Association of Kentucky. So what we do is who I am, I guess, first is I am a retired teacher. While teaching, I was really kind of the tech specialist within our school. When I retired, I kind of lost track. I needed something to do. My husband suggested that I take on this role with one of his professional organizations because they needed someone to do the tech stuff. That's how I wound up where I am, because the group itself is in charge of pretty much anything to do with building inspections around the state of Kentucky. We are a preferred provider of educational services for the state of Kentucky, as well as with the International Code Council. And we basically train building inspectors, fire officials, contractors and engineers and architects all come in as well. And we hold 3 conferences a year. And this is where we found Conference Tracker to be the most beneficial, because we do both in-person as well as virtual trainings. When we were looking at what we needed, we wanted to do online registration as well as online invoicing and payment. I needed to be able to monitor attendance, be able to print certificates and reports, because we are the preferred provider for the state of Kentucky. I do have to file documentation with the state. Conference Tracker was able to provide me with all of the documents that I needed to get the reimbursement from the state that we need. What I found most helpful with working with Conference Tracker was basically getting a good foundation, creating the groundwork, collecting all the right information on my registration form, making sure I have all the supporting documentations, the badges as they just went over, the invoices, the certificates. I have all of that ready to go prior to the conference actually starting, and then being able to get that information easily sent out to the attendees. I have found that with Conference Tracker, all of that is right there for me. It handles it all. I don't have to go off and do it on my own, which was honestly something that we were facing at one point, where I was going to have to individually email up to 150 to 250 attendees. So finding Conference Tracker and using Conference Tracker has really been a godsend for our organization. The most important thing post-conference for me was, as I said, the attendance logs as well as the evaluations. All of this was built into Conference Tracker. So I really found that it was beneficial to us to get that set up. Garrett went over earlier with the badges. I love the idea that we can now resize the QR codes. I did have a lot of information that needed to go on those badges. So that has that was the other point that I really wanted to make. With Conference Tracker, the suggestions that I have made or any needs that I have always been worked through. And they're so open to any ideas that you might have that would make it better for you. And for us, it has been really great. I'm a newbie. I did get on and I viewed some of the previous user spotlight presenters, and they have been working with us a little bit longer than I have. So I think it's important to point out the idea that Conference Tracker is very user-friendly. For anybody that's either new to the software itself or new to setting up conferences in general, it is organized in a way that makes it easy for newbies to come in and go straight down the menu on the left-hand side of Conference Tracker, and it pretty much lays it out for you. And any issues that I ever had, the tech has been there. They've been helpful, explained things to me, and even went in and set things up a few times for me. When I go into Conference Tracker, I know this is all my personal information on here, so I probably shouldn't bring it up, but um, on Conference Tracker, the registration form, as I mentioned, setting up and building that groundwork is really important. And that registration form is where I get the majority of the needed information that I am required to have for the state. And by being able to go in, they come up and it's a general online registration form. However, you are able to personalize it and collect the individual data that is needed for our state requirements. I'm just going to switch over to that form real fast just to give you guys an idea of what I am talking about. So this is the general, this is that I was talking about. And when you go in, being able to add all of these different types of questions, I will be honest, I've used the majority of these questions on my forms. This is just the generic one that comes up, but because I'm able to delete and add to it, like I am required to find out what their role is within the state government, I have to find, get their member numbers if they're a member of our organization. And I'm able to do all that just using the different types of questions they have. We also have a different pricing structure for members versus non-members. And by using the different question types over here, I can get those prices set separately. The other aspect that I found helpful was being able to create the certificates. I will bring up our certificate from, I don't think I could do that. Our certificate from the previous one, we have to have their ID numbers and everything on there. And as Garrett mentioned, just like on the badges, you can use a user registration field. You can also do that on the invoices. So that has been a great thing for us. So gentlemen, I'm not really sure if there's anything else that you wanted me to cover. This form has been a godsend for me. I have found it most helpful in collecting the information that I need, and that's pretty much what I wanted to spotlight today.
Absolutely, Cora. It has been a pleasure working with you. I know we put a lot of groundwork into getting your registration set up exactly the way you guys needed it, and I'm so glad to see how much you guys have taken off in over the years.
Yeah, you have made it easy. I will tell you that you've been right there, and that's for me when I talk about the conference software and encourage people to look at Conference Tracker. It is because of the tech support that we've gotten that has made it so helpful and so easy for us. So thank you.
Oh, you make me all warm inside.
No. I'm telling you what, though, it's a lot easier to talk to a room full of elementary school children than it is to talk to a computer. So I do a much better job with kids.
Totally understandable. Doing demonstrations is what I do all day, every day. It's much easier to do a demo when it's more interactive and people are asking questions and talking.
Yeah, I feel
doing
like I'm
these
talking to
webinars, but
myself.
no, yeah, I totally understand. But thank you so much for being today's user spotlight. Really appreciate you telling us a little bit about your association and your experience with Conference Tracker. So thank you so much again. That actually takes us into our Q&A for today. So I'm going to go and see if we have any questions. Okay, so we do have one question. It says, how does an attendee access their badge through the app? And I actually might be able to showcase this. Give me a second. It's hard to explain. Garrett kind of went over this in the system itself, where you can show the attendee's badge as a button right on their own dashboard within the attendee app. So let me pull my device over here. So this is the attendee app, what attendees would have access to at your event. And you see we have these various buttons right on their homepage. As Garrett was showing, you can decide which of these buttons you want to show on the homepage and maybe which ones would just be in the menu. So I don't have the badge on the dashboard on the homepage here, but you could have if you wanted to. Now, if you didn't, or if you did, the attendee just clicks on it and it pulls up their badge. But if you don't, the attendee can click on the menu in the top left, and they're going to be able to click on the QR code there right under their profile, and it's going to pull up their badge. So again, if your attendee lost their badge, forgot their badge, you're not doing badges this year, but you're still tracking attendance. You just want to scan off their phone. The attendee can actually pull it up through that menu, or you could have it right on their homepage and they can just click on it and pull it up that way as well.
I think that's it.
All right. Well, I know that after the presentation, sometimes the questions don't come during the presentation, so afterwards some questions might come up. You can always contact our support team, which would include Garrett at conftrack@engineerica.com if you do have any questions. If it's more licensing, you want to see a demo of any of the modules that we have, you can contact myself at chadb@engineerica.com. Just so you know, as usual, everyone's going to be redirected to a survey after today's webinar. So please, if you haven't filled it out before, please fill it out. We're looking for new ideas on new tech talks. We've been doing this a little over a year now, so we're kind of run through most everything. So we'd love to hear from you what you would like to see in a next tech talk, or if you'd like to be user spotlight, we'd love to have you come on, tell us a little bit about your association, yourself, and how you use Conference Tracker at your event. One last thing, we did record today's presentation, so we're going to be emailing that recording probably sometime tomorrow when it's ready. So if you want to watch it again or send it to somebody else, you'll be able to do so. I appreciate everyone coming today, and I hope this was useful. And again, let us know if you have any questions or if you need anything.
Have a great day, everyone.